F1's new era begins in 2022 with new technical regulations set to see a return of ground effect cars aimed at making racing closer. After a year delay to the new regulations due to the pandemic, the long-awaited technical overhaul is set to arrive this season. The changes have a lot to live up to, and after a thrilling 2021 season, arguably the best in years, the new era has high standards to meet, but with a year's fresh aero package designed to deliver close and follow overtaking races, if the plans are in place, F1 could be set for a new golden era. F1 has also reduced the cost cap to 140 million, down 5 million, to make the series more economically sustainable and provide a more level playing field. The world will get its first glimpse of the new era pre-season testing, which is set to run in 2 dates in Barcelona and Bahrain. Barcelona from the 23rd to 25th of Feb and Bahrain from the 10th to 12th of March. F1 is splitting it with each event hosting a 3-day test. Well, that's full 6 days. F1 has split the venues for both logistical and technical reasons at the request of the teams. Barcelona is a traditional venue for the season before the pandemic and is considered the ideal test venue given its low variety of medium and high-speed corners plus the long main straight, while its European location makes it a short journey for the F1 teams. But teams often fly parts at short notice to the test and can minimise the travel compared to other venues outside of Europe. Conditions are also usually suitable with dry and sunny weather. Despite it being colder than temperatures, F1 will be racing in for many of the races. For 2022, F1 will also head to the Bahrain International Circuit rather than staying in Barcelona, again due to logistical and technical benefits. While the Bahrain track will provide a representative comparison to the Barcelona test, allowing teams to verify its easy findings, it is also hosting the season opening, meaning teams won't need to pack up and rush to the next venue in a short space of time. As the name indicates, F1 teams are able to test their cars on permitted days of track action and run any numbers of setup, parts and programs they wish. Pirelli provides an equal number of tyre compounds to each team, usually enough to allow all teams to compete as much running as it desires, while the number of laps is theoretically unlimited within the track hours open. While scrutiny by the FIA isn't strictly enforced in the test, and held under Grand Prix conditions, all normal safety requirements must be followed by the cars running tracks to fit in with the FIA regulations. F1 teams could in theory run a car that's safe but not legal. However, there would be minimal benefit to this, as they wouldn't be able to use the car in the same spec in the race weekends. Outside of that, F1 teams are permitting to design their own test programs, including run plans, tyre usage, fuel loads, which of its drivers' cars, including reserve or test drivers, will not compete in the upcoming season. Teams are not only able to run one car though, meaning that any drivers that want to use will have to share the same car. Currently, F1 will not live broadcast the first test from Barcelona on TV, but the plan is to live broadcast the entire second test. The Barcelona test will be a behind closed door event, with F1 intending to broadcast a daily roundup from the event. The Bahrain test will be broadcast on Sky Sports F1 in the UK, plus on F1 TV in other areas. As the cliche goes, it's only testing, so all lap times must definitely be taken as a rough guide rather than the definitive pecking order for the F1 grid. This is because all-time teams prefer to hide away their performance capability until the first qualifying race of the season in order to hold a potential surprise pace advantage. This is known as sandbagging. The lap times from testings are also obscured by variables including different fuel loads, engine modes, tyre compounds, etc. Same track during its corresponding Grand Prix later this season, tyre life plus the variable weather and climate. Equally, some teams may opt for a glory run to top the times towards the end of the session or scrub the headlines, effectively increasing performance in relative comparison to rivals. For all teams, the answer will be no if the question is, are they the final cars for 2022? On the chassis and aerodynamics, upgrades will be made almost constantly throughout testing and the opening rounds to unlock more performance. On the engine side, all power unit manufacturers go into a development freeze for 2022, meaning the specification of each power unit component will remain the same when they will make their final choice at the first round. Manufacturers will be able to change the specification as much as they like during the testing, as long as it follows technical and safety regulations. A driver that crashes in testing will experience the same situation if they crashed in any other session, but the consequences could be more serious depending on the time scale. Teams will probably have fewer fair starts at the same spec while testing, as they are being changed or upgraded, which is likely to be a key challenge for new cars in 2022. If a driver crashes heavily and breaks a key part, the team will lose valuable testing time and more likely to have to totally revise its testing progress. Pierre Gasly had similar issues in 2019 for Red Bull, multiple high-speed crashes, losing him plenty of time, and maybe could be seen as a big reason why he kind of failed at Red Bull. for testing or a rough guide, I mean, like, looking back at the previous few years, it's not too accurate really when you see that Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas in Mercedes in the last 2 years were the only times, and 2015 as well, were the only times in the last 10 years where the team that was fastest in testing actually went on to win the championship. So yeah, just 3 out of 10 times, so it kind of just shows you can't really read too much into it. Anyway guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave your thoughts, comments down below, follow me on Twitter, links for daily F1 news, and subscribe to our channel on screen, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.